So you got the okay that we can record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's what we're doing.
Give me 1 second. Let these group of people walk past, and then we can go ahead. Alrighty.
So I have with me today, this is Marcus Mann. This is the best friend of my daughter, Amanda. She grew up with him in school. And I just wanted to do a pop-up video with him. And it's to highlight his life and what his experiences were thus far. So I'll let him give you more details of who he is. And Marcus, take it away.
Hello. Like she said, my name is Marcus Mann. 30-year-old black male. Grew up in Chicago, Illinois my whole life, in the Woodline area. Yeah, I mean, life wasn't easy at all, but you know, I made best as I could. You know, couple of trials and tribulations, such as now, I took a 6-year deal, for which is like a unlawful use of a weapon, but never been used, just basically a possession of a firearm.
So just to be clear on what you just said, because I just want to have some clarification because you kind of went out a bit. So you say that you're getting ready to go in for how many years?
Took 6 years at 50%, which is around, I have to do 3 to 2 years. I'll be eligible to see, or depending on how if I stay out of trouble or not, pretty much.
Okay, so the 6-year sentence could be reduced depending on if you keep your nose clean. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then you did say, I did also hear you say that you got charged with a weapon that wasn't fired. You just
Yeah.
got charged because you had it in your possession.
Yes. And they call it a UUW, which is unlawful use of a weapon. Even though I never used it.
But you used it, is that correct?
Correct, never been used.
Okay. Why did you have a gun?
I carry a gun because to protect myself. Like I said, I always had a job, and my job requires me to take public transportation. And with the way things are getting these days, like everybody has a gun. Like people that don't even need a gun have a gun. So like I keep one for my protection, and also I keep one to protect protect those around me.
Okay. And where in the city of Chicago did you live and grow up?
I grew up on 60th and Cottage Grove, and that's in the Woodline area.
And how bad is that area for you to have to carry a gun on your person?
Growing up, it was pretty bad. A lot of gang activities. So at times it can get very dangerous, just walking from the train to your house or from the bus stop to your house. So like you kind of need something on you, especially if you're a person that, you know, like if you're a person that's outside, you're pretty much gonna need one because something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
So you're using a gun to protect yourself. And so did you have any role models or anyone telling you not to do that?
No, not at all. Everybody I saw growing up, you know, they had a gun. That's how I started seeing guns. You know, when you start seeing them on TV, but then, you know, you see them in real life, it's a different story. And nobody's telling you like, yeah, don't pick that up. You know, if you're showing interest in it, and they're not telling you like, no, this is not the way to go. It's just like, oh, you want to see it? Here you go. And then next thing you know, you got it.
Well, how old were you when you first had a gun in your hand, in your possession, and you had questions about a gun? How old were you?
So you said when I had, okay. So I want to say when I first saw my first gun, I had to be like 12. But when I actually held one in my hand, well, actually physically had my own, 15, maybe 16.
And that was just for you, just to protect yourself, to go outside and have fun. You just carried a gun?
Well, that, and also, you know, like I said, where I grew up, you know, it was gangs, drugs, violence. So in order to try to, put some money in your pocket, you had to do stuff. You had to, either sell drugs or become a gang hitman or whatever, a lot of things, but my choice was to sell drugs. So I also had to protect myself and also protect my product, protect my money.
Okay, so it was a way of living for you. And then now since they legalized marijuana in the city, how do you feel about that?
You
Since
legalize carrying guns.
No, well, yeah, the gun thing was legalized too, but then they also legalized marijuana. And you said you sold drugs and you carried the gun to protect your product and for your way of life. And so I was just asking you, how do you feel about the legalization of marijuana and you still have to contribute to illegal activity in order to survive?
Well, honestly, at the time, I wasn't selling marijuana. I was
Mhm.
always selling crack cocaine.
Okay.
So even though I can also, give a little insight on that marijuana thing, because I tried at one point and I did get caught for like a bag of marijuana. You have to go to the city jail, then you have to go to the Cook County. Well, you have to go to like a police station, then you get transferred to the Cook County jail. It's like, oh, for one bag of weed. Now it's like you can walk around with up to 28 grams, like 27.5 grams, and they just issue a ticket or they do nothing. But with that, they're only doing that because they're looking for weapons. They're looking for people. If you got 27 grams of weed, they're looking for a weapon, and now these days, like, nobody's carrying that on like that. Like, nobody's doing that. Like, and I'm not even really, I can't even even speak on that, because it's like, man, I got so many charges. It's like these days you get caught with some weed, no gun, you don't even go to jail. Like, and I just remember like getting caught with a bag of weed or 2 bags of weed. I'm going to county for 2-3 weeks. It's just like, hey, times have changed, but like, man, but the fact that I still have to, if I get caught with anything and I go in front of a judge, the fact that they bring up these past charges about things that are now illegal, it really don't make no sense, because they base whatever you get caught with now. If you do have to do time, they based it off things you did in your past. But those things in your past that you did are now illegal. So it's like, like I said, the couple times I did get caught with weed, I still get judged off that now, even though it's legal. And it's just like, it makes no sense. It really doesn't.
And even though you've served your time too for that instance, and so it seems like they're constantly punishing you over and over again for things that you did in your past, instead of you know saying, how can we help you? Because the one time you did come over here and I was talking to you, and trying to make sense of what you were saying, right? I had no idea that you had been drinking as heavily as you do, and then on top of that, you were adding other substances too, because you needed to deal with what was going on with you, you know,
Yeah.
your mental state, right?
Like, like the type of environment and situation I grew up in, it does play a major role on your mental. So, and I do sometimes use weed, alcohol, maybe ecstasy, those substances to try to cope with it, or try to like get keep me from getting too deep about it. So I use these substances like to cope, to take myself away from what's actually going on. I mean,
Oh,
and it helps. It does, but it doesn't help as much as I think. Or as much as I think it should. It helps to deal with it for that moment.
mm-hmm.
It's for that moment.
So tell me what a daily dose of self-medicating looks like so you can forget.
Oh man. So it's like um a lot of consumption of alcohol, maybe at a time, one day, 2 or 3 fifths, a couple of blunts of weed, and an ecstasy pill. And I start that early. Like, I could start doing that at like 9 a.m. just so I don't have to deal with or think about the things that I'm going through now. Like that's what I've been doing to cope with the situation that I've been going through. Like I don't want to think about it today. I'm gonna get up in the morning, start drinking, pop me a pill, smoke some weed, drink some more.
You're
Maybe pop
going,
another pill, drink some more, and then drink till I wake up the next day. Like, oh, can you hear me now?
yeah, okay, I got you now, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I'll just drink and indulge in.
You went out again. You're
I do it
talking,
all
did
over.
you mute yourself?
No,
Okay, can you go back and repeat what you were just saying? Because we could.
cutting out. You got
Mhm,
me now? Can you hear me now?
yeah.
So, like I said, basically drinking, popping pills, smoking weed to the point I pass out and wake up the next day and I don't remember what happened.
Mm,
And then therefore I don't remember, like for the most part, I really don't remember why I was doing it until it happened, till that memory comes back again, and that's when I do it all over again. So it's like 2 or 3 fifths, maybe an ecstasy pill, and a lot of weed.
okay,
A lot of weed.
so thank you for giving me your routine. And so I'm going to take you back to the day you got the gun charge. So what happened that day?
That day was daughter's birthday week. Me and my daughter's mom took her to a hotel room because that's what she wanted to do for her birthday. Um, they was going smooth. It was cool. Later on that night, well, actually, it was the next night. It was the next day. Actually, it was the next day. Actually, because the night went smooth. The next day, everything was cool in the morning. You know, I took a nap, woke up. She kind of was a little upset because she spent some money, and she figured that I should go half. And I was just like, it's our daughter's birthday. We're both spending money that we didn't really want to spend, but we spend it because it's our baby girl's birthday. And there was a couple words were exchanged, and then I tried to leave. I pretty much pushed her. I pushed her basically out of the hotel room type thing. And I grabbed her hair as I was pushing. I grabbed her hair as well and threw out the hotel room. She came back with security and police and ended up telling them like, yeah, he pushed me and hit me in the hotel room and threw me out. And also he has a gun in the book bag, a gun that was in that book bag for 2 days that I honestly forgot I had in there because I was doing so much running around of the day of check-in. So I never got a chance to go even get myself situated. As long as I had my daughter and her friend situated, so I never got a chance to get myself situated. And and I had it with me. The plan was to take it back the next day, but I didn't get a chance because my daughter's mom left out to go do some stuff. So I was like, forget it. And honestly, it slipped my mind. I didn't even know it was there until the police knocked on the door. When security knocked on the door and the police handcuffed me and asked me did I have any weapons in the room. Of course, I said no, because I'm like, what are you talking about? They come with the book bag, and I'm just like, wow. And I kind of like messed myself up because I said, I know I'm about to go to jail because I got to put this gun on me. Just let me get my glasses out that bag. And by me taking ownership of those glasses, it gave me ownership of the book bag. And that's what they basically based their whole case on.
And why did you have a gun that day? I know you said you forgot that you had it, but in the course of your day, you were moving around and you needed
So,
to have that gun on you?
so the night before, I got off work, and knowing that I got off late at night and I had to be up to take my daughter to the hair salon early in the morning, I came from work. Like I said, I take public transportation at the Red Line. And also, I'm going to a neighborhood that's kind of bad. Also, it's in Inglewood. I was on my way to Inglewood. So if people know Inglewood is also a very dangerous neighborhood, way dangerous than my neighborhood. So, and I know I got to pass through here, and I know it's crazy. And it's the summertime at that. So summertime in Chicago is crazy. So with me leaving work to go over there just so I get up in the morning to take my daughter to the hair salon on time and also collect these other children that was going to come to the event, I never got a chance to get myself together at all. Like I didn't even shower, couldn't brush my, I didn't do anything. I just got up and make sure baby girl birthday was gonna be a success. And I was gonna get myself together later because I wasn't supposed to stay. But different turn of events, and I ended up staying, and instead of following my first mind in my gut, I ended up being in a situation.
And how many times have you been to jail?
Prison or jail, because it's two different, it's a difference.
Well, either one, jail and prison. How many times have you gone?
I've been to Cook County maybe like 7, 8 times out of my life. Just been, but I always bonded out. So I spent like maybe 3 times I spent in the county, like for a month, a couple of weeks, a few days. But like prison, I've been to prison 3 times. This will be my 3rd time going to prison. This will be my 4th felony, 3rd time going to a prison. This is the longest case I've had.
Okay. And the other times you went to jail, the other felonies, the other 2 times in prison, right? Because you said jail and prison is 2 different things. So when you went to prison prior, what were those charges for?
So the first time I went, it was for a stolen car, and then it was a retail. Well, I was on probation for a stolen car violated by catching a retail theft, and I ended up going to do 11 months for that. Then my charge prior to this one, well, matter of fact, both of those were felony charges, so I had 2 felonies at one time. So the second time I went to prison was for a gun charge. Was for another gun charge. I did 6 months for that, a year, 6 months for that, and then now my 4th felony is another gun charge.
So based on the life that you live, because have you always lived in Woodlawn?
Yes. For the most part, yeah. I mean, I've lived in Inglewood as well. I lived in Inglewood for probably about 2 years. I live on the east side, like right off Stony Island, for about like maybe a year, but I'm 30 years old. For the most part of my life, I've lived in Woodlawn on Cottage Grove, same strip, same block.
And you've watched the changes, right?
Yeah.
The community. Okay.
I've seen the changes. Major changes. Major changes.
Mm-hmm.
Major changes. But
go ahead. Now, what were you gonna say?
I mean, even though, like I said, even though it's been drastic, I'm gonna say drastic changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's still things that go on over there that is the reason why I still need to protect myself.
Okay. So that's what I was gonna get to. Because for you to get a gun charge, that means that you purchased that gun illegally, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's just to protect your life, correct?
Yeah.
And you do want to be around for your daughter too, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
So what if you were able to get some mental health services for what you were going through? Do you think you still would have a need for a gun in your community?
Honestly, yeah. Unless I get out of, I need to get out of Chicago. I need to go where somebody won't know me, won't recognize me. Like I lived in, back to when you said, I lived in a couple places. I lived in Iowa as well, which was like a vacation. Nobody knew me. Didn't have to worry about anything, and I didn't need anything. I didn't need a weapon. But as long as I'm in Chicago, I'm gonna carry a weapon and I'm gonna need one. Because even though I'm not a problem, other people are problems. And when they're trying to get to their other problems, me by being innocent bystander be in the way, and I won't allow that.
So did you ever consider staying in Iowa since you said no one knew you there and you didn't have to carry a gun?
I did consider staying there, but it wasn't gonna work out at that point. Like it was, my Iowa situation was over with, so it was like nah. But I did consider it though. I did, but yeah, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, because I was just, in order for, people such as yourself to, start over, there are a multitude of things that, you want to try, right? Which is therapy, a good support system, being somewhere where you won't need a gun, right? Because now your daughter is getting ready to lose a couple of years having her father around. So that's also going to impact her, and create further frustration for the mother because now she doesn't have the support of the father. But I assume that your family is going to step in to help take care of your daughter while you're away, right?
Oh yeah. That's the main thing I stress. Like, don't really worry about me too much in there. Just my daughter is all that really matters. Like, I'll be okay. I'm a survivor. I'll be able to get through it. But my daughter, she ain't at the age where she doesn't need to survive by herself. So since I'm gone, my support now goes on their shoulder, and that's why I got a good support system because they allow that to happen.
Okay. So what about a good support system for you though? Do you have it in the sense of you not going back and forth to jail? Do you have a good support system for that?
I mean, I would like to say I do, but like I said, that's all in Chicago. So if I was to get out of Chicago, would I have that same support system? I say I give about about 65, 70%. Yeah, I feel like I have that support system, but it's really the breaking away from it. That's the thing. Like breaking away from Chicago altogether. All together. Like Chicago just ain't what's up. That's all. Chicago ain't what's up. Like, yeah.
So I like how you're able to gather your thoughts and focus on your daughter and say you don't matter, but I do want to validate you and say that you do matter, because of your daughter is why you matter, because it's okay for her to have her father in her life and not have a trouble father in her life, getting some support so that you can build a solid foundation for your daughter. Because from what I'm hearing, this is all too often the case in our community, a Black man catching the case because of what's in his environment. The gang culture, the drugs, the guns, the alcohol, right? Because I remember too, my son being jumped and they tried to get him to join a gang when he went to Sexton. It was 15 boys that jumped on him. And so that whole gang culture thing that happened there, we were there for, how long were we there? I think we were there for 2 years in the neighborhood. And it was very traumatizing for me, not, as a single mom trying to keep up with my son who was 13 and, told that, you join this gang or, we beat you up. And he called the police one time. Police came to my house, saying, "Oh, you called the police." I said, "No, I didn't call the police. I was asleep. I was working third shift." But what it showed me back then, and you were part of that, you were part of our family. My daughter's been around you since what, 7th grade?
Yeah.
And so I watched you grow up. I watched you, get into trouble. I've told you not to do things. I've said, Marcus, do this, Marcus, do that. And, always show love to you. And I simply want to say this to you and to anyone else who's going to watch this video is that what our Black men go through in inner city neighborhoods, living in violence in urban spaces, this is what you go through. Yep. I was fortunate enough to have some support, where somebody was able to move me from the Woodline area to Inglewood, and then we had to deal with the same thing over again. But these new drug dealers and gangbangers actually looked out for my family. And so you do have that, right? Where, you have gangs that, they look out for the family.
Yeah.
I wasn't a part of that, but you know, it actually felt good to have somebody tell my sons, you know, not to join a gang and, you know, your mom is not about this. And, you know, even
Yep.
asking me, you know, to help, you know, for the assistance because gangs originally started to protect the neighborhoods, not
Exactly.
to, you know, prey on them and not to, you
Terrorizing,
know,
not to
kill.
terrorize.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. Not to terrorize. And so we're going to continue building this village around your daughter until you return to us. But I just wanted to get part of your story out so that people can understand that this isn't a life that you chose for yourself. This is a life that you live because of your circumstances. You were put
Yep.
in a situation, you were born into a situation, right? And so you are constantly on survival mode and you're still on it.
And always gonna be. It don't change. It will never change. Like until you can change your environment. You change your environment, you're gonna be on survival mode until you come to realize that this environment is not trying to attack you. This environment is trying to take you in and make you one of theirs, or want you to be a part of it. But until that happens, it's just like in your mind, you just gonna be like you said, survival mode. Survival mode. That's it. That's what I'm on. Till I don't have to be.
And so what's your plans after this is over?
So what I'm praying for is that wherever I go, they actually have resources that I can utilize when I'm free. Um, I want to take up a trade. I want to get in like HVAC. I want to do something with my hands. I want to do something. 'Cause I already know my background is gonna hold me back a lot, but that'll never stop me because it never has. You know, I'm always working, but I don't want to work these. I mean, I will work these quick jobs, whatever, while I'm trying to go to school for whatever trade that I decide I might get. But like I said, I'm just hoping that whatever prison I go to have some resources that can actually utilize. Because that's another thing, like sending us to prison, but and it's supposed to what is it called? I mean, I might pronounce the word wrong. Rehabilitate.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to rehabilitate us, but yet y'all not providing us with anything. Y'all basically want us to come in here, keep getting in trouble, keep us locked up. Then we finally get out. We get out with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. So you don't have any. They don't have any resources anymore that we can utilize. Construction, HVAC, welding, um, even just giving us the CDO book so we can study and take practice tests. So when we get out, we'll be able to take the real test and pass with flying colors, and then and actually get out here and try to be a part of the world, back with the world, try to do right. But
Recidivism is what they call it, right? They get you back reintegrated into society as a productive person. But if you're not able to do that and you're able to still do the same things that you've been doing, $1 million
right,
block is what
basically,
our article that I read, and it's called $1 million block. I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but basically it was saying that people who go to jail and aren't rehabilitated or to come back out into society end up going back in again. And so they make plenty of money off of you because they get money for you being in the prison. So
yep.
instead of them giving you resources that you need so you won't go, they welcome you back in and don't give you anything because they know you're going to come back again.
Come right back.
Because this is your third time now, right?
Yep. Third time.
And the previous times that you've gone in, did you get any help? Did you get mental services? Did you get any type of training? Anything that you can use to break the pattern that got you to go in there in the first place?
Nope, I couldn't even get the simplest thing as doing an agriculture class because they said you ain't got enough time. But I sat there for 6 months doing nothing.
So not even some form of certification, not anything.
Nothing. I sat there for 6 months doing nothing. But they said I don't have enough time. I got all the time in the world. I ain't doing nothing.
So now that your time is going to be a little longer, right? You said 3 years with good behavior, right? So
good behavior. Mm-hmm.
So they should be able to teach you something because you do have a high school diploma, correct?
GED. Yes, I did. I got a GED.
Okay, you got a GED. Cool, perfect. So that part you don't need. So now you just need to pick up a trade or something, a skill that you can use, so you don't go back to the same type of environment that you came from, which is the
Yeah.
violence in Chicago, living in your community, so where you need to carry a gun.
Yeah.
So it's just really amazing to me how you're describing your life and the viciousness of the violence and the cycle that you're in and trying to get out of it is damn near impossible.
It's yeah. To sum it up, you're right. It's basically impossible.
I
Because how
said
can you?
damn near impossible, right? Because then somebody has to give a little something extra to give to you so that you won't repeat these cycles. And that's what the recidivism part of it is supposed to do, to give you these extra resources so you won't come back. You don't even want to, because now you're looking at a different type of life. You're looking at a different lifestyle. And in order to get there, you have to change your mindset. So the mental health part of it is that the therapy can be helpful and useful, especially when you get a culturally competent therapist that understands the environment that you grew up in, the violence, right? To get you back on track, because the drugs and the alcohol don't help you make clear decisions, because you started this life at the age of 15. And psychology says that a child's brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25. And so between 15 and 25, you had 10 years to grow and to be more productive, but instead you were kept in the same environment. It's like a dirty fish bowl, and you just repeated those cycles.
Definitely repeated it. Definitely repeated the cycle. Every time something didn't work out, I went back to what I knew. Went right back to what I knew. I didn't have no resources. I didn't have no nothing. So go back to what I know. Back to the streets I go.
And that's the hope and the goal when you don't get those extra resources that you need to do something different, that you go back, right back to what landed you there in the first place.
And I also want to say, because me getting out of prison twice prior to me going out, they tried to have resources. But the thing about it, they would let 2,000 people try to come fight for something that's only going to provide 10 to 15 people a job. It's like, why make, it's like they make you go through this competition, especially when at the beginning, it's like, yeah, at the beginning of this competition, yeah, these people here, yeah, they need this. But if you're already past that level, like you don't need this part, okay, we should be in it should be more than 15 to 20 jobs, because out of let's even say 1,000 people, it's just the fact that you got 1,000 people competing for 15 to 20 jobs, and you have to go through this long 6 to 8 week process, and they tell you, oh, it's just to see if you're gonna stick it out. Like they tell you things, they tell you these things, like they tell you, like, you leave a prison, I'll see you back within 6 months.
Are you serious?
They're planting this stuff in your head. And so then when you be like, yeah, you're not gonna see me in 6 months, you get out, you try to go to these resources that they say you should go to because you're a felon, and they help you. They really don't help you. They just put you like, sign this paper, be here this time. It's somewhere so far away, even where you don't even stay in the area. It's like a 45 minutes to an hour away. You waste a little money that you do have to get out there thinking it's gonna be an opportunity for you. And then you get there and realize it's all BS. And then you don't even realize it's BS till after a week or so if you've been in there. And then they start telling you, like, yeah, it's just a waiting game. A waiting game? How long am I supposed to wait? I waited already. Y'all had me locked up. I waited. It's supposed to be an opportunity for me. I waited. Like, I've done that. Like, so now what's next? And it's just like, well, you're at the program. You're asking too many questions. Or you don't want to do this. You're at the program. It's just like, no. You just can't kick me out. I've been here for a week or two. Well, your slot's gone. Like, it's like a game they play. It's like a mental game they play with you, and then and they play with you to the point where you like, you know what, forget it. I'm back to the statistics. I'm back to being a statistic. I can't say the word. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, we all get what you're saying. Sometimes those words kind of hard for me to say, but I get what you're saying, right? And this is the part that kind of tugs at my heart, right? Is to hear your conversation and to say you wanted to change, you wanted the help, but nobody was there for you. Nobody came to save Marcus. And so now Marcus has to save himself. But if Marcus doesn't have the tools to do it, how can Marcus then be proactive in doing the things that he needs to do? So what do you think about that? Can Marcus save Marcus?
I can, but I can't do it by myself. It's going. If I basically, in order for me to save myself, I'm gonna have to do the things that put me in the same position that I was in. But it's like the mindset of that is like, if I do this once or twice and get that money, then I'll be able to progress. But it might work. It's gonna work the first time, but the second time, you're gonna end up where you just came from. But all you need is 2 times. But it's always that second time is where it's just like, it never works out. It never works out. I've been through it 3 times, maybe 4. Even coming out of county jail, I've been through it a couple times. Like, just to do this twice, good. The second time, I'm in cuffs. It's like only if I had a little bit of help. Cause like maybe I could have did it 1 time, and I had some help to get the other part I needed. Then I'm good. Or even if I had just all these, I just said, all this money they got out here, it's just like, I feel like they put in the wrong places. There we are. Like if I feel like if it was more focused on incarcerated people becoming or coming back to being productive citizens, I feel like Chicago will be a lot way better. I feel like everywhere, the whole world will be a lot better. Like if a lot of those resources put into really helping incarcerated people get back to the world, I think crime will be way down, way down. People won't have to gangbang. People won't have to come out and sell drugs. And but really, my point is, people won't have to come out and sell drugs and carry a gun to protect what they're trying to make. You know, like that wouldn't have to happen. Because I mean, it's gonna be drugs being sold, but like it's not gonna be as much as it is now. It'll be a major decrease. Okay. People realize people already know fast money ain't the best money, but fast money is the money to get right now. It don't matter about it being the right choice. It's about right now. Like I'm not out here talking about some. Oh, I'm not finna sell drugs for 4 years when I just made in 30 in an hour. I just made $1,500. So why not keep doing it? Why not keep going? Because I can get a job where I make $2,500 in a week. I can't get that in a week. All the jobs I have, I'm making what? $600, $400, $500 a week. Opposed to if I sell this block right here, I can make $1,500 in less than an hour, probably less than an hour. It's like, man, like it's about jobs. It's about them being available. It's about them not looking at your background and discriminating against you and telling you like, no, you ain't gonna be able to do it. Because even to this day, like I go show my resume, like, yeah, I'm a criminal. Yeah, I go to jail all the time. But I keep a job. I have a maintained history. Right now, it's gonna be the longest time with my history say I ain't worked. Go say 3 years. And they gonna ask me, why you have a job? You've been working, you had like 20, you had all these jobs within 4 or 5 years. But why in 3 years you ain't worked not a job? Now I gotta tell them I was incarcerated. Applications in the garbage. Like, now what? Because that's what I'm about to hear for the next probably 7 or 8 months. Is no job in 3 years, garbage. No job in 3 years, garbage. But you ain't asking me like what's my skills and all I tell people, give me a chance, give me a day of work, give me a stage, a shadow, and I can show you what I can do. Once I show you, you're gonna want to hire me, but they only give you that chance because what? You're a felon. You just got out. You ain't worked in 3 years. We can't trust you. I didn't even know they felt. But
except for that one time, right?
You say what?
Except for that one time.
one time, even that one time, okay, that one time I did still, but whatever. No, except for that one time was a long time ago. I didn't mature and grown up from there. I'm 30 now.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, right? The maturity does happen,
Yeah.
but the maturity needs to happen consistently so that you don't go back to, behaviors that put you in positions to question who you are as a Black man and as a Black father who's trying to build a solid foundation for his daughter.
Right.
What I see you doing, I see you interact with your baby. That's exactly what I see. I don't see anything but love. I don't see you giving her any of the violence. I don't see you giving her any of the negative things that you've been exposed to. So you're trying to stop her trauma.
Exactly.
But yet it still was able to filter through, right? Because what you needed wasn't given to you. So enter in what she'll still feel, unless you're able to become stable and give her what she needs from a father.
And I feel like I feel like I can't even do that unless I get out of Chicago. That's the honest choice.
And why you should be able to leave Chicago. So, this is going to be, when you do come out again, right? This is going to be something that we're going to use later because this is being recorded. And so we'll be able to revisit this so that you'll be able to then move forward again in your life by understanding the mistakes that you made and what you won't do again, because these people say they're going to see you some more. The prison, they'll be like, you're going to be back in 6 months. But this time I'm going to call them a liar.
They always been alive because I'll never come back in 6 months. I'll never do that.
Oh, it takes some time.
It takes some time because it just back then I was hot. Back then I was hot, so that's why I was going back. But last 4 years, 5 years, I wouldn't know nothing. I was chill. I'm older. I'm not doing that. So now, this time they tell me 6 months. Nah, you will never see me back. You will never see me back.
So you already stated what you wanted to do. You want to do some HVAC stuff, a trade or something, so you can work with your hands and build, right? Because I do know that there are some programs out here that allow you to do trades, and they do hire people with prior felonies, and they get government assistance to do it. That's the other thing. I've heard some other Black men talk about it, right? But I don't want you to lose hope. I just don't.
Honestly, that's all I got. So I can't. That's all I got.
Okay.
That's hope, prayer, faith, and that's it. That's all I got.
And then you're gonna do something different when you come back out on the other side, right?
Oh yeah. Because basically when I come out, I'm gonna be at a halfway house. So I feel like, and I made the decision because I feel like it's gonna be somewhere probably. I mean, I know it's one in Inglewood. I've been on that one, but I was on there for like a day and a half too. I was like, I can't do this. Somebody can't do halfway out. But this time I'm trying to make it somewhere that's not really like nowhere too crazy, so that way I can still get back and forth to a job, because I'm gonna get a job because I need a job to keep myself sane.
Mm-hmm.
And work to keep myself sane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was getting ready to ask you something that I really want you to consider.
Okay.
What are your plans for while you're in jail?
While I'm in jail. All right, my plans.
Or in prison, because you said jail and prison is everything. So what are your plans for being in prison? Because you're going to be there a little longer.
So, like I always do, I go there and I keep my head low. Like I said, I'm an older guy, so when I talk, people always think when they see me, they're like, oh, I thought you was a young boy, 22, 23. But when I start speaking, they're like, oh man, you're not even like that. No, I'm not. I'm never was like that. I'm a different breed. But plan is to keep my head low, stay away from the knuckleheads, kind of associate myself with like-minded people, which means like people who like to read books, informational books. So basically, we could teach each other. Like if you're reading something about architecture and he's reading something about construction, you guys put that together. You guys can network. Basically people who like networking, like-minded people who got goals when we get up out of here. People trying to start a business and like, yo, I know you're a cool dude in here. I'm gonna need a worker. You get out of here after I do. It's gonna be in stores. It'll be ready for. There's people who actually got a goal and got things they need to accomplish when they get back. So that's part of the plan. And also just to read as much as I can. Hopefully they got a library where they got actual resources in that library, like actual books I can actually learn something from, And when I get there, like I said, when I get there, I'm gonna start writing down my goals and as the ones I can accomplish while I'm in there, make sure I get those done. But then I'm gonna make sure I have me a strong list of goals for when I get out. Because I'm basically replanning my life while I'm in there. Replanning my life to stay out the way and stay out of there.
Mm-hmm. And I hope you do have access to therapy and then getting sober too, right?
Oh yeah. I don't. When I go inside, whatever I was doing outside stays outside. I don't do that inside because that ain't gonna get you more time. Like I said, I know what to stay away from because that'll cause me more trouble.
Okay. Anything else you want to share before we end?
Just man, prison not for everybody. Everybody can't do it, but it's all about having a strong head and knowing what you need to do. And if you want to change, you can. And you also got to change your surroundings and change who you hang with, because that'll be a major part to more trouble, more stress while you're on the inside. Trying to keep up with things that's going on outside while you're on the inside, it never works. So, like, I just want to say, I'm always keep my head held high, hold man's down, and always keep the bigger picture in focus. My daughter, which is number one, and number two is getting myself right so she could be great. Because without her motivating me, I won't be able to do things. I want to be able to do the things that I need to do so she could be better than me. So, like I said, that's my biggest focus. My daughter is what I'm be looking at every night when I close my eyes. Whether I got a picture or I got a picture in my mind, that's the focus. That's the goal. Come tomorrow, when I walk through the doors, it's the one thing on my mind: getting back to baby girl.
So when do you go? When do you turn yourself in?
Tomorrow morning, I'll be there at 10 a.m.
Okay.
10 a.m.
Well, we'll keep up with you.
All righty.
And I know Amanda will have she talks to your mom, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna give her one of her numbers. Well, her number still works. She's got a FaceTime, but she got another little number. But yeah. And she got my mom on Facebook, so yeah.
Okay.
There's ways to get in contact. Yep.
Yeah. So we can stay in contact with you and to, encourage you while you're away, because it's important for you to stay connected to family. So I'll be writing.
Yeah, please write, because nobody writes these days. So please write.
I'm going
I have
to
no
write.
problem.
Yeah, I'm going to write.
That's all right. But tell Amanda to write too, because I also gonna put money on phones too. So if I might not want to write, I might just call your phone. Like, yeah, you'll be like, excuse me? No, I'm paying for this call. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll be paying for it.
Yeah, because I learned in my Black Studies class, my race and urban development class, when we got to talking about the prison system and how abusive it is and how, they quadruple charge for everything, knowing that the families couldn't afford, to do it. And then, for anybody that might say, well, you shouldn't do the crime, for you to go to jail in the first place. The crime is how you've had to live your life in the first place. That's the crime.
Right. And that's still just like, just because I did a crime, I gotta be overly charged. The police do crimes every day. Y'all don't charge them anything. But that's another story for another day.
It is.
Yeah, that'll be another
Really
story for
is.
another day.
Because I wanted to focus on, Marcus Mann and not
Right.
arbitrary factors that have nothing to do with what you're going through currently. So we're just gonna stay right here. And I really want to thank you for doing this because I think it's going to help you later. I really do. You trust and believe that because you just did a really powerful testimony. And I appreciate you, son. I really do.
No problem. Hey, no problem. No problem at all. And I appreciate everything you were trying to do for me, all your words of encouragement. I really be listening and I hear what you're saying. I really do. Try not to cry now because I'm outside with the friends and stuff. So
I know. And I'm gonna let you go so you won't, because I know you got a presence that you have to, keep up.
I know, right? I know. I keep it up. I'm gonna do that later before I turn myself in. I'm do that by myself. Because another word, black man, it's no problem to cry because I cry. I just do it by myself. Cool. But I cry too.
Yeah, because if you that's one of the things that I had to learn too, that it was okay to cry. Because we've been taught for so long and to stay strong and be strong and strong and strong and strong and strong. When one day, I decided that I wanted to be weak because being strong never got me the result that I wanted, which was some resources and some help.
Never did.
You know what I mean? So, in this thing called life, we figure it out as we go. But living in a system that isn't just doesn't really allow for you to make any mistakes because there's no grace and there's no love and understanding how you had to navigate life.
Right. You're right about that.
So
definitely right about that.
So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna post this interview. It's gonna go on my YouTube page, the Yvonne and Amanda podcast. And when you come back over here to to the other side, then your sister gonna have something for you.
Okay, cool. Okay, and I'm looking forward to seeing that video when I get back. Cause I ain't gonna be able to see it now, but.
Oh, well, I can quickly download it and send it to you.
You ain't gotta quickly download. Take your time. Okay. Edit, you gotta do your thing. I see. I'm looking forward to seeing something when I get back.
I do raw footage.
Oh, you do raw footage? Oh, okay.
I do raw footage. Yeah, no, because it's all part of the process, right? Me doing this from my home because it's where I'm at. Becoming a community activist was not something that I wanted to do, but I see that it's necessary. And the community activism that I'm doing is surrounding mental health because our community needs it more than anything else to be heard and listened to so we can tell other people what we need and not have them tell us what they think we need.
Got you.
Okay. We get to say that.
Okay.
And I'm doing it with love. I'm a
mother.
I'm a mother, so it's all love over here. But here's your sister. She wanted to say a few words to you. FREE.
I got 1% left, girl. I got time for that. I got 1% on my phone. You gonna come and doing that? Ooh, she look good. My sister look good, girl. How you doing?
Call you. You supposed to send me the address where you finna be at.
I'm at Larry Beta, but I don't know. They just called my name over there. I've been doing it. I don't know, but I'm trying to see because people been texting, calling, so I'm trying to see if everybody gonna meet me here. Then I'll be here at Larry Beta.
I'm just gonna go over to your mama house because I know you're gonna be over there.
I might. Shit. Okay, if we this, we still recording.
I am, and I want this to be recorded, this interaction, because this is how.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. But we gotta get rid of somebody. If we get rid of somebody, we got room in the car. So. That's why I was saying it's the recording. We get rid of somebody, we got room in the car.
We'll try and figure this out so we can see you, okay?
All right, cool. All right, y'all.
Okay, all right. I love you too. All right. Bye.